Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Stress Less, Accomplish More call with me, your host, Stephanie Matos. I am a mindset coach on the Brightly Thrive team, and I'm super excited to be here with you today on this Thursday evening. We've got some awesome people here with us live right now. I'm so excited that you guys are here with me live. I want to say hi to anybody who's watching the replay. So if you're watching the replay, my name is Stephanie. It's very nice to meet you. I selfishly would love it if you would join me live. I host calls every single Wednesday and Thursday, and then once a month, I host this call that we're on right now, which is 7 p.m. EST. I know that that's a different time zone and a different time in many different time zones. I know you guys are very internationally based company. So we host this call on the evenings, my time zone evening, so that we can maybe hopefully get some more people to be able to join. So thank you so much for joining. And I've already kind of been chatting with you guys a little bit, letting you know, please, 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 if you have any questions for me, if you want to chat, if you want to talk about things, if you have any specific questions, I have already told you that I am excited to talk about the science of luck as a theme because we just had St. Patrick's Day here in the US this past Sunday. However, I also am very open to any type of topic or, idea that you guys have to throw my way. I love to kind of work on the fly. So if you guys want to try to throw some things my way, I would absolutely love that. You are also more than welcome to interrupt me at any time. So if you're like, hey, Steph, I didn't understand that, or I didn't get what you said, or I actually have something completely different that I want to ask, you guys have my complete permission to just unmute and jump in and start talking. And we can take it from there. So does that sound good, everybody? You guys can just give me a nod or a thumbs up. Awesome. Thank you so much. So as I was saying before we hit record, I was really interested in the science of luck. So I talked about this a couple weeks ago with some folks that were on live, but I don't think any of you guys were there that day. If you were, let me know. But okay, awesome. Thank you, Randy, for letting me know that. So Randy, this will be a little bit of a recap for the ladies that weren't here. I personally struggled a lot with this idea and belief that I was very unlucky and things never went my way. And I was a science-based researcher for many years. And one day I got very lucky that I was doing research on the science on the brain and discovered that there's this whole genre of research that was based on the science of luck. And actually, luck is something that you can cultivate and create more of. And so I thought it could be fun to talk about that. And also, the name of this call is Stress Less, right? We'll accomplish more is great too. However, I think the main component here is stress less. And I think that most of us would love to stress less. We live in a world, specifically this day and age, where we just are inundated with a lot of stress, like whether it is in our home environments, whether it's in our work environments, whether it's a combination of the two, whether it's just simply driving on the street. We really are in a time and age where a lot of stress comes from this little device right here as well. Whether it's social media or elsewhere. And so I do think that that is something that we can really, really talk about. And the cool thing is that some of the strategies that are associated with a reduction in stress levels are actually also associated with an increase of luck. And I don't know about you, but I will always across the board say, yes, yes, yes. I would love to have more luck. Can I please be more lucky? Thank you. So if we can say, can I be more lucky and be less stressed? Hey, that's a double whammy. I don't know about you guys, but I would sign up for that all day long. So I hope that you guys are excited to learn about this topic. And as I was going through, so there is, like I said, a ton of science around luck. I've been trying. We only have so much time together, so obviously I can't cover the whole entire everything about the science of luck. But what I did was I picked out a few little strategies that I thought could be really, really beneficial. And how many of you guys have heard of the power of focusing on gratitude? Have you guys ever heard that? You guys can just raise your hand. Awesome. So this has actually been sort of like a buzzword or a buzz phrase, if you will, in recent years on social media, et cetera, about the power of practicing gratitude. And I think that that's all fine and dandy, but if you don't really know exactly why or what the benefit is or what it is or how to do it, it's kind of hard to know exactly what you need to do in order to do this. And what's cool about this is that, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to read you a couple of the benefits to focusing on gratitude. before I start to ask you guys something that you're grateful for. And so you don't have to unmute and tell me this. You could definitely type it into the chat. Don't worry about it right now. I just want to get your wheels turning so you can kind of think about it. I would love one or two things that you're grateful for. However, what is cool about this is that this is associated with a reduction in stress, a reduction in many, many, many negative things. I'll get into that in a minute, and an increase in luck, an increase in positive thinking, an increase in optimistic thinking, which is also connected to more luck, which optimistic thinkers have more luck than pessimistic thinkers do. And it also is connected to a reduction in the stress levels, a reduction in the nervous system response, which is associated with high stress levels, right? So let's talk about this really quick. And again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. So let's just talk about gratitude really quick. And I wrote an article on this many years ago, and I'm circling back to this article so that we can kind of pull and cherry pick from it. And so gratitude has a number of different meanings. However, a practical definition is the appreciation of what is valuable and meaningful to you, right? So this is a distinction that's very important because what might be valuable and meaningful to me might not be valuable or meaningful to somebody else, right? So I think it's very important to understand that gratitude is something that is a very personal thing. It's very associated with whatever it is that that person in particular is finding value around. The next thing is that it's a general state of thankfulness or appreciation for that thing, right? And I think that we all kind of know this, but I think it's fun to sometimes just talk about the literal definitions of things so that we can wrap our heads around, okay, got it, got it. Now what do I do with that? So now that I know what it is and now that I know what it's not, what do I do with it, right? Well, many studies have shown that consciously focusing on your blessings rather than what you lack. So, in other words, what you have, what is going well, what is going right, rather than everything that's going wrong, what didn't go well, what isn't going right, who was mean to you, who said something nasty to you, who sent maybe not the nicest email or dropped the ball, right? This is very easy for our brain to focus upon because our brain is quite literally built for looking and scanning for things that are going wrong. And so what we're doing when we're practicing gratitude is actively building the other side, the flip side of that coin, the other side of the brain muscles and the neurology associated with optimistic thinking or positive thinking, or what is going well and right. What are the silver linings around this maybe not so fun cloud, right? So that's really what it's about. And it says here, so you can have both emotional and interpersonal. So it can have both emotional and interpersonal benefits. One study showed that having a grateful outlook not only improves well-being, but it also creates a more positive mood. And I think one thing that can be very, very easy is bad moods are something that I think as human beings, we can just kind of accept that we're going to have a bad mood sometimes. Okay. I think the issue becomes when these bad moods or even the stress levels become chronic, meaning it's an everyday occurrence, it's an everyday annoyance. Maybe we're waking up in not the greatest mood, or we're waking up in stress. We're living our whole entire day with not the greatest mood and not the greatest stress levels. And then we're also going to bed at night, maybe ruminating about the negative things that have happened during the day, or going to bed with stress, which actually also kind of causes people not to sleep very well, etc. So again, I never want you guys to think that I'm insinuating that you should always be happy, never feel stress, never feel a negative emotion. But what we want to do is give ourselves containers for these negative emotions. And what I mean by that is go, I'm going to be really, really upset about this for the next 30 minutes, and then I'm going to let it go and move forward and find the blessings and and the positivity around this thing so that I don't suffer. It's actually a little bit selfish if you think about it, optimistic thinking, positive thinking, gratitude, and all of this kind of stuff, because really the person that it benefits the most is you. You. Me, right? This is the thing. And now what's cool about this is that even though that is sort of like a me-centered idea or belief, there is a lot of science that shows that when you show up to your job, to your home, to your kid's school, to wherever you're going, even to the grocery store or in the airport, when you have a more positive outlook on life, you actually, it's contagious. Okay, it's contagious. So even though you're thinking about yourself and you're putting yourself first, and you're really one that's benefiting from these things, and I'm actually going to read you a bunch of benefits that above and beyond increasing luck, which I think is a pretty good one. There's a lot of other benefits. Not only is it benefiting you, but then you actually are rippling that out into the people that are around you, the people that maybe you work with, the people who are maybe above you or below you or whatever, aligned with you, right? And so this is something that I think all of us have experienced from a negative perspective. So have you guys ever been around somebody who's in a really bad, not great mood, and you kind of start to feel a little anxious or stressed yourself? Have you ever experienced that? Or have you ever maybe been in a room full of people and somebody walks in and they've never spoken a word and they're not even near you, but you go, "Oh man, I hope they don't take this seat." Or, "Oh no, I hope they don't pair me up with that person." Or, "Oh no, I hope they don't start talking to me." And it's a feeling that you get, right? Vice versa. There could also be somebody who walks in the room, they don't say a word, and you go, "Ooh, I'd really like to get to know them. Ooh, I hope that they sit with me. Ooh, I kind of hope that I get paired up with that person," right? And so that is this innate feeling and absorption that we have as human beings. It's part of our alert system. There's many different reasons why, and there's even some that are hormonally driven, meaning cortisol, for example, is a hormone that can get excreted through the skin. I don't know if you guys knew this. So if somebody is very, very stressed around you, cortisol is a stress hormone. So if somebody has really high levels of cortisol that's sitting next to you, you literally can catch that. Okay. It's a contagion that we don't really want, which is a stress contagion. And so, but vice versa, you can also catch positive feelings, positivity, optimism, these kind of things, right? So it's kind of like, have you guys ever seen the cartoon Care Bears? Have you guys ever seen the Care Bears? Randy's like, I don't know. The two ladies are like, yes. Okay, so the Care Bears, if you're not aware of this, or maybe if you're watching the replay, was a cartoon. I was very little, so it's an old cartoon. And they're little bears, and how they like heal things or help things is through their little patch on their chest that goes, they call it the Care Bear stare, and this light just beams out, right? And that's exactly what I like to picture myself as when I'm entering a space, when I am showing up on these calls, when I am around different people, when I am presenting on a stage. I want to make sure that the thing that I'm emanating is going to help and serve the world and not bring people down, right? And so this is something that you can kind of play with a little bit, is like, maybe everybody around you is a little bit stressed for many different reasons, rightfully so for some things, right? However, how can you maybe alter the room? How can you maybe alter people's moods? It's just something to kind of play with a little bit by just simply taking care of yourself first, right? Anybody buying what I'm selling here? Anybody picking up what I'm putting down here? Okay, I love it. I love it. And again, make it a game. Like I do this not as a serious thing where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm in charge of everybody's emotions." No, it's like, what if smiling at somebody changes their whole attitude, right? Or saying thank you, or opening that door, or, helping somebody out who's maybe struggling with their groceries or something like that. It's like, how can I maybe cause a ripple effect in this world that can affect many, many, many people? Let me just see what is in the chat. Hold on one second. I think it can help to focus on what you can control versus stewing about things out of your control. My goodness, yes, I would agree with you there. I would very much agree with you there, because the thing is that, there's that serenity prayer that's like, accept the things that I cannot change, have the wisdom to know the difference, right? And there are quite a few things that are out of our control. And one of the things that we can control is our attitude around the things that we cannot control. While I can't control the outcomes all the time, or control other people's experiences or other people's attitudes, I can't do anything about that. But what I can do is control what I'm doing. And one of the other things, but circling it back to where we started, is gratitude, right? That's one thing that I know that I can do that can help tremendously. So let's kind of go back to this really quick. So a scientist studied over 1,000 people from ages 8 to 80. Okay, so 8 to 80, and found that simply keeping a gratitude journal can have a positive impact on many areas of life, with subjects consistently reporting the following benefits, right? Physical, so it gave stronger immune systems, less bothered by aches and pains, lowered blood pressure. They exercised more and took better care of their health, which led to better health outcomes. They slept longer and felt more refreshed upon waking up. That was one thing that used to happen to me when I had a very, very negative outlook on life, and when I had a very, very pessimistic thinking brain, was that I would wake up exhausted every day. It didn't matter whether I slept 6 hours or 10 hours. It was like I was so exhausted because negative thinking actually saps your energy for many different reasons. We could talk about that maybe a different day and time. So psychological, higher levels of positive emotions, more alert, alive, and awake, more joy and pleasure, more optimism and happiness. Optimism and happiness and gratitude are all associated with higher levels of luck too. Finally, we have social. So more help, more generous, more compassionate, more forgiving, more outgoing. And they feel less lonely and isolated. Well, that's probably because they're being more outgoing, right? So there's a little bit of a continuation there. So what's cool about this, you guys, is that in order to receive these benefits, you simply have to do, right? So how do we do this? And so to receive the benefits listed above, well, that I just said, all you have to do is count 5 to 10 things you are grateful for once or twice a day. Okay. It's better if you write them down. And so this can be digital. It can be on your phone. It can be on your computer or laptop. It can be in a notebook, right? It can even be in a gratitude journal if you want to have a very specific notebook for it. You don't have to. It can be on a Post-it. It can be on a napkin. It doesn't matter where it is as long as you do it. And the caveat to this is that you have to do it daily, right? It's okay if you miss a couple days here or there, but in order to have the best results, you have to do this daily. And I would love to give you maybe a little bit of a challenge, right? This is a very unofficial challenge, to see how your life changes over the next 30 days. If you can just consistently write, and if you can't, if you're running short on time, or if it's like at night and you're like, oh my gosh, if you can't get to those 5 or 10, even if it was 2 or 3, that's super beneficial. And start to see how stress starts to reduce, start to see how luck maybe starts to increase, start to see how maybe you have less aches and pains, start to see how maybe you start to wake up feeling more refreshed. Now, what's interesting about this is that, oh, I have things in here. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I gave you the Cliff Notes version. This is the actual version. Oh, it's way better than mine. Thank you so much, Randy, for that. And then Nicole says here, do you have to think about different things every day, or what if you are repeating the same ones every day? I think it is helpful for you to stretch yourself to try to think of different ones. However, there are certainly going to be some that maybe every single day you're grateful for, right? So for example, let's say you drive to work. I don't know if some of you guys maybe work from home, but let's pretend like you drive to work and every day you're like, so grateful for this car. I'm so grateful for this car that gets me from point A to point B. I'm so grateful for this car that gets me to work. I'm so grateful for this car that helps me to blah, 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 right? So that could be something that every single day, as soon as you get in, you're like, right? Instead of going, oh, I hate this car. I want a new car. I can't wait till I can get rid of this car. I hate you, car, da, 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 right? So instead of doing that, you can say, I'm so grateful that I have this now. And I'm excited for the time when I can get something new, but I'm so grateful that I have this now, right? So that could be an example of something that maybe is consistent. I think that the beauty of forcing yourself to think of new ones is that what it's doing is it's flexing that muscle in your brain. So your brain is very much like any muscle in your body. The more you work it, the bigger, thicker, stronger it becomes in that area. I actually was just reading a research study about cab drivers in London. And if you've ever been to London, it's very I mean, little nooks, crannies everywhere, and it's massively huge. And so they have been able to actually measure the hippocampus of these cab drivers' brains grow, because that's where that center is, the directional center. So as they are driving and as the years go by, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And as they map out more parts of the city, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what happens to your gratitude center, right? So then it becomes almost like a set point. You don't have to think about it anymore. It's like you're just grateful for the sun, moon, and stars. You're grateful for the air that you breathe. You're grateful for gravity that holds us on the earth. You're grateful that you can always count on the sun coming up, and you know that the moon comes out. You can always count on these things. You can be grateful that even though it's raining, well, it probably doesn't rain that much in Arizona. I know not everybody's in Arizona, but you know, you can be not only grateful, okay, it's raining today. I know it's not going to rain forever. It's sunny today. I know it's not going to be sunny forever. And I'm really grateful for the ebbs and flows of nature, right? So this is the thing, is that so you'll start to see that on these calls. And actually, I would love for you guys to maybe type in 1 or 2 things that you're grateful for today or tonight. Just flexing that muscle, right? Getting you started on that 30-day challenge. Very spur of the moment 30-day challenge. Don't worry, I won't give you a report card or anything like that. You're not going to get graded on it. But I think it still could be fun just to test it out. And so circling back to that, right, is I will start to ask you guys to tell me some wins. Well, guess what? I host a lot of these calls, and there are quite a few people who are like, I don't have anything today. And so one thing that we can always be grateful for is being able to be on these calls. I'm super grateful for the internet. I'm super grateful that I get to be here. I'm in Tampa, Florida right now. I might be in a different country, but I can always come on this Zoom link and be here with you guys. I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to work in the way that I do with people like you. It's something that I'm so grateful for every single time I pop on this call. And being on this call is something that you guys can also be grateful for, because you can see there's other people who didn't come, right? So I'm really grateful that you guys came. And it also, you should be really grateful that you guys came too, because it's so much fun. We have fun together, you know? Let me see this. Ooh, that's a good one, Nicole. So let me see. Randy, I'm grateful for my dogs, my motorcycle, hope, friends, and family. I love that. Love that. Those are all amazing things to be grateful for. I'm grateful. This is from Nicole. I'm grateful that I have a supportive partner. Yeah, Nicole, that's a really incredible one. Pav, if I say your name wrong, you always are allowed to correct me. Please do. I'm grateful for my family and friends who can support me when needed. That is huge as well. There's a lot of people don't have these things, you guys. It's so important to honor these things, and it actually helps you feel a lot better. And actually, the people who you're saying these things to, even if you don't say them directly to them, although you can do that, and I recommend that you do, they can feel it because you're celebrating it. They can feel it because you're honoring it. Nicole, I'm grateful to be debt-free. Woohoo, that's awesome, girlfriend. That's something to definitely be grateful for. Huge things to be grateful for. And so this was a great array of things to see, that there are some things that you could be grateful for all the time. There's going to be some things that it's like, you know what, today I'm really grateful for this coffee or tea. I'm really grateful for the fresh air. I'm really grateful that you don't have time change if you're in Arizona. Everybody else is struggling with time change, but I didn't have that, right? So there's like all these little things every single day that we can be grateful for. And not only will it decrease your stress 1,000%, we just talked about that when I read some of the stuff out of that study. It increases optimism. But here's the thing about optimistic thinkers, you guys, is that optimistic thinkers have been scientifically proven to have more luck. We already talked about that. More success in all aspects of life, less aches and pains. It's very similar to what this article that I just read you said. Less aches and pains, better biomarkers like heart rate, blood pressure, all of those kind of things that they can measure. More relationships, better, deeper friendships and relationships, more love, more money in the bank. I mean, across the board, optimists have better of all these things. And so it could be fun just to start to tick up the optimistic thinker dial in your brain and go, you know, why not? Why not test this? Why not see if the science is right? Why not see if I can improve my life? Why not see if I can reduce my stress levels through focusing on what I can change instead of what I can't, focusing on what is going right instead of what isn't. Giving myself a container for frustration, right? And when I say container, I mean like I'm going to check back in with myself in 30 minutes and see if I need a little bit more time to be mad at this. There's sometimes I'm like, okay, at 7 p.m., I'm not going to be mad anymore. And 7 p.m. comes, I'm like, I'm not ready yet. I still need to be mad for a little bit longer, but eventually, but I give myself another container, right? Because if we don't give ourselves parameters or boundaries around things, they just start to, or stress. I'm going to be stressed about this project at work or stressed about this thing that my boss or whoever said. I'm only going to let myself be this way for this amount of time because I don't want to waste my happiness on that. I don't want this to grow and grow and grow and fester and fester and fester, right? And also, you guys can practice that Care Bear energy. I know it's a little bit silly. Thank you for playing along with me. I appreciate that, but kind of playing along with this idea of being the light. Maybe you're actually the leader, right? The leader of this happiness game, the leader of the let's reduce our stress game, the leader of what could go right instead of what could go wrong. Maybe you're the leader in the stress hormone production. Maybe you're the leader, right? How cool is that? You don't have to tell anybody. You can just be it. You can just be it and practice it and see how it affects people. In my experience, it really is incredible how palpable and powerful taking control of your own mindset, your own nervous system response, your own stress levels, and your own happiness levels can really cause a ripple effect across organizations and across families and across all kinds of things in a very positive way. So you guys, our time is up. Let me just see this really quick. I think the Good Luck Care Bear was my favorite when I was little. Oh my gosh, it comes full circle now, Nicole. It comes full circle. Not only was it a Care Bear, it was the Good Luck Care Bear. So for those of you who maybe aren't familiar, you can maybe do a quick Google search. There was a Care Bear that had a 4-leaf clover on its little chest belly area, right? And so let's pretend like you're that little Care Bear since it was your favorite. I love that. All right, you guys. So what I would love to do is say thank you so much for being here with me this evening. Thank you so much for it's evening for me. I know it might not be evening for you. Thank you so much for joining me. And also, I would love, love, love if you would spread the word of this call. I would love to have more people on this call. I think a lot of people can benefit from the science of the brain and the science of stress. So if you have any friends that you can bring, please do. The more the merrier. We have plenty of room at the table and everybody's invited. If you are watching the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay. If you're ever able to join me live on a Monday or a Thursday around your lunchtime, if you're in Arizona or around that neck of the woods, I would love, love, love to see you. I would love to see you. All right, you guys, I'll be back on Monday of next week. Until we meet again, so much love, so many blessings, and I hope to see you very soon. All right, bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye.